Picture this. You are standing in a dressing room, under lighting that flatters absolutely no one. The dress on the hanger looked perfect. The colour was rich, the fabric felt expensive, the cut seemed simple enough to work on anybody. You slip it on and somehow in the space of 30 seconds it has turned into something that just does not sit right. And you cannot explain why. If that has ever happened to you, I need you to hear this clearly. That is not your body failing the dress. That is the dress failing you. Here is something the fashion industry does not advertise. Most clothing on the market is designed for one silhouette and one silhouette only, then lazily resized for every other body by simply adding more fabric in all the wrong places. So you end up choosing between two bad options: a shapeless cut that swallows you whole, or a fitted cut that clings to exactly what you did not want it to highlight. Neither one is a solution. They are the same disappointment wearing two different price tags. Welcome back to Elorai Timeless Fashion, the place where we talk about elegance without apology, for women who know that style was never about age. Today we are unpacking 7 wardrobe pieces that elegant French women over 50, with a softer, fuller midsection, reach for again and again. Not to hide anything, because they understand a principle the entire style industry seems determined never to say out loud. Stay with me till the end, because once you understand this, you will never look at your closet the same way again. Here is what confident French women have quietly known for decades. Walk through the older neighborhoods of Paris or the quieter towns along the Normandy coast, and you will notice women carrying weight in the middle who still look put together, unhurried, entirely at ease. Not because of a personal stylist, not because of discipline or deprivation. They simply understand how fabric behaves on a real living body that has changed with time and will keep changing. They tend to return to the same 7 pieces, not 7 outfits, a rotating capsule of essentials that get worn, washed, and worn again reliably for years. Before we go further, tell me something. Which one of these is already hanging in your closet right now? Drop the number in the comments as we go. I genuinely want to know where you are starting from. Piece 1, the wide leg trouser. And I want to be blunt here, because most women get this one wrong without realizing it. The flowing palazzo pant does not work. It adds bulk everywhere. The cropped wide leg does not work either, because cutting the line at the ankle sends the eye straight back up to the middle. What actually works is a true wide leg trouser, high-waisted, falling in one clean, uninterrupted line from hip to floor. Navy is the most common choice, charcoal and black close behind, and a deep, quiet olive is beautiful if you want something different. The magic here is simple. An unbroken vertical line gives the eye somewhere to travel, so it never lingers at the middle. The midsection is still there, it simply stops being the first thing anyone notices. One detail worth remembering: tuck only the front of your top loosely, never all the way in. That single adjustment shortens the torso visually and rebalances the entire silhouette. Keep your shoes flat or low. A ballet flat is ideal. A modest block heel is fine, but a platform breaks the line completely. Piece 2. The wrap blouse. Not the wrap dress, we will get there. This is fluid fabric, silk or a beautiful silk alternative, tied at the front. And here is the detail almost nobody talks about. The tie should sit a few centimeters above your natural waist, above the fullest point of your midsection, never at it. Why does this matter so much? Because the eye anchors wherever the tie sits. Place it higher and everything below simply reads as one long, elegant line. Choose a solid color over a print. Small florals and busy geometrics pull the eye directly to the knot, which is the last place you want attention. And as much as we all love it, a bold horizontal stripe works against you here. It pulls the eye straight to the widest point of the body. If this is resonating with you so far, this is a good moment to hit subscribe here on Elorai Timeless Fashion. We talk about real, honest style for women who refuse to shrink themselves, and there is a new video every single week. Piece 3. The long, open cardigan. This might be the single most misused piece in most women's closets. Not because the piece is wrong, but because it is worn wrong. Belted at the waist, buttoned closed, cropped at the hip. Every one of those choices adds a horizontal line exactly where you do not want one. The version that actually works hangs long and open, completely unbelted, falling straight on both sides down to somewhere between the thigh and the knee. That creates two clean vertical lines that frame the body instead of measuring it. Light cotton in spring, fine merino through autumn, a longer wool as winter sets in. The rule never changes. Long and open. Piece 4. The straight-cut linen shirt. This one shows up in almost every elegant French wardrobe, and for good reason. Cotton pulls and clings across the midsection by mid-morning. Linen does not. It has natural body and drape that keeps its shape through heat, through hours of wear, without ever revealing more than you intended. White, ecru, a pale chambray blue, a soft quiet stripe, all classic choices. Worn at true size, sleeves pushed up, top 2 buttons open as if no thought went into it at all. Of course, more thought went into it than anyone would guess. That, honestly, is the entire point of great style. Now, let me say something directly to you. If you are nodding along right now thinking, yes, this is exactly what I have been missing, trust that instinct, because style at this stage of life was never about rigid rules. It is about finally understanding why something works, so you can choose it with total confidence instead of guessing. Piece 5. The wrap dress, and specifically one made from a fluid, non-stretch fabric like silk crepe or viscose, with a proper skirt falling to or just below the knee. The jersey version became wildly popular, and it is easy to see why. It feels forgiving. But jersey stretches, clings, and quietly undoes the exact effect this dress is meant to create. The fluid version works because the wrap forms a diagonal line across the body, and a diagonal is one of the most powerful tools in dressing. It interrupts the horizontal exactly at the widest point and gives the eye somewhere to travel instead of somewhere to stop. Elegant women of this generation have worn versions of this dress for decades, paired with a low heel to lengthen the leg, or a simple flat or a sandal in warmer months. Piece 6. The long blazer. And this one comes with a single detail that decides everything. A blazer that hits at the hip or above creates a horizontal line right across the widest part of the body, and the eye stops dead there. But a blazer that finishes 2 or 3 centimeters below the fullest point of the hip frames the body instead, and the eye simply keeps moving past it. Unstructured or lightly structured, worn open, soft through the shoulder, nothing fitted across the back. This piece works over almost anything. A silk blouse for lunch, a simple knit and dark trouser on the weekend, a wrap dress once the evening turns cool. Get the length right once when you buy it, and it will work for you for years. Piece 7. The fluid midi skirt. A fitted midi skirt follows the body from hip to calf and reveals every line beneath it. An A-line flares out from the hip and adds width exactly where you do not want it. What works instead is a soft, fluid fabric, silk, light crepe, a gentle satin that skims the body without clinging to it, falling in easy, unhurried movement to the mid-calf, paired with a close-fitting knit or a softly tucked blouse. The eye moves between the neat upper half and the flowing lower half, and the midsection simply becomes the quiet transition between the two, never the main event. Now here is the part that actually matters. What do all 7 of these pieces have in common? It is not a trick, and it is certainly not a technique reserved for French women alone. Every single one of them creates proportion through line. A vertical, a diagonal, a frame, a contrast, not through hiding. And here is my controversial opinion for the day, so tell me if you disagree in the comments. Most style advice aimed at women over 50 is built entirely around concealment, and concealment is the wrong goal from the very beginning, because more fabric only ever creates more volume, which was the original problem. The women who dress well at this age are not hiding. They have simply learned, often through decades of trial and error, exactly what their body needs, and stopped apologizing for the rest. These 7 pieces are not a uniform, and they are certainly not rules carved in stone. They are tools, and the most elegant thing you can do with any of them is understand exactly why they work, then make them entirely, unmistakably your own. So tell me, which of these 7 are you most excited to try? Which ones have already been sitting in your closet this whole time? And if there is one piece you have worn for years that always makes you feel quietly, confidently beautiful, I would love to hear about that too. Leave it in the comments. I read every one of them. If this video gave you something to think about, a like genuinely helps this channel reach more women who are ready to see themselves differently. And if you have not subscribed to Elorai Timeless Fashion yet, this is your moment. Every week we talk about elegance, confidence, and timeless style for women who believe beauty was never something you age out of. This was never about looking younger. It was never about hiding. It is about knowing exactly who you are and dressing like you know it. That is not aging gracefully. That is aging powerfully. I will see you in the next one. This has been Elorai Timeless Fashion.